Yeah. Alright, where do we start? Spells, sure. Cheap shot is cheap shot. Cloak of Shadows is Cloak of Shadows. Crimson Vial is, recuperate on crack. Distract is distract. Envenom is envenom. Evasion is evasion. Fan of Knives is fan of knives. Feint is feint. Garrote. Silence 3 targets. You can use it out of stealth, but if you use it out of stealth, it doesn't silence. Rip. Okay, what else? Sprint is sprint. Stealth is stealth. Vanish is vanish. Vendetta is vendetta. Poisons are poisons. Poison knife, that's like a shuriken toss, but throw a poison coated knife, dealing active lethal and non-lethal poisons awards 1 combo point. You know, it's useful sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. And an 8 out of 10 guide. Shh. Let me concentrate it. I'm doing this. You asked for it. And when you critical strike with a melee attack that generates combo point, you gain an additional combo point. You gain 10 energy each time you deal bleed damage to a poison target. Sick, I know. It's actually pretty good. Now, this is the weapon one. Release the lethal poison within the Kingslayers and strike at your target, dealing some damage and some dot. Each time your deadly or wound poison strike a target affected by it, Kingsbane deals an additional 20% damage. So, not bad. 2 questions. What do you use to move and strafe, and what is your UI scale and resolution? I move with my mouse, holding the 2 buttons. Sometimes I use W. It depends on the situation and what ability I'm trying to press. Because I hold W with my middle finger. So if I need my middle finger for something else, I use my mouse. And the strafe buttons are A and D. And my resolution is 1920 by 1080, and this is my UI scale. Under the U of UI. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, talents. Master Poisoner increase the damage done by your poisons by 10% and their non-damaging effects by 20. Finishing move that grants 20% increased damage done over 4 seconds, and Hemo is rip a gushing wound in the target, instantly dealing some damage and increase your bleed damage on the target by 30% for 20 seconds. That's what I'm using. Because the rest of them seem kind of not very good for PvP. Maybe this one is good, but they nerfed envenom damage, so it's not that good anymore. This is the role that we're all familiar with. This, you may now have maximum 6 common points, and your finishing moves now consume up to 6 common points. Your damaging finishing moves deal 20% increased damage, but it doesn't matter because it's not much anyways. So fuck it, take vigor. This is like the normal roll. You take elusiveness for feint, obviously. Oh, this stupid thing. Each time you deal bleed damage, you have a 15% chance to reset the cooldown on Garrote. But Garrote already lasts 18 seconds and has a 15-second cooldown. So the dot already lasts longer than the spell's cooldown. So, okay, Prey on the Weak is the same. It's always been. The internal bleeding is the same. Dot on kidney. You take whatever you want. Take the dot, because you have Hemo. Agonizing Poison. This is bugged, I think. It doesn't work yet. Coat your weapon with a lethal poison that lasts for 1 hour. Each strike has a 20% chance of poisoning the enemy, increasing all damage taken from your abilities by 10%, stacking up to 5 times. Damage taken from your abilities, which makes me think it's not gonna work with like deadly poison. Maybe it's gonna work with rupture. It's hard to tell. It doesn't say direct damaging abilities, so probably includes rupturing a road. But that's like 50% damage bonus right there. But having this talent, it means that you have to tunnel a target a lot as assassination, because it's only 20% chance of poisoning it. You're not gonna proc it instantly when you switch to someone. You have alacrity, which is haste on finishing moves. And you have each time you deal bleed damage, the effect has a 30% chance to spread to an additional nearby target, which is fine for PV, I guess. Then you have Venom Rush, which is Venom Rush, Mark for Death, which is Mark for Death, and Death from Above, which is Death from Above. There's just no change here. Take Mark for Death, why not? Okay, these two rolls are the same for all specs. Now this one is different. This is the only new one. Shadow Step's cooldown is reduced by 66% when used on a target marked by your vendetta, so it makes it a 10-second cooldown. It's 30 seconds now, 66% from like 30 is 20, so yeah. Turn the tables. After coming out of a stun, your damage is increased by 15%, that sucks. Critical hits in combat by allies within 10 yards, that sucks because it's only 10 yards. This is what you want. Critical strikes on targets with a lower health percentage than you increases your critical strike damage by 20% for 3 seconds. I don't know what's the internal cooldown. I don't know if it procs back to back. It probably does. Deadly Brew. Deadly Poison also applies wound poison. Deadly Poison also applies mind-numbing poison. Actually, it's different. Mind-numbing poison will cause you to take 10k nature damage every time you cast a spell. So it's different. And Shiv is pointless. Stabs the target, deals some damage, then applies a poison that causes any ability to incur a 3-second cooldown. So it's a 45-second cooldown, it does 7k damage. You stab someone, it applies a poison, and the next mutilate a press, let's say, it's an ability, is gonna make it so it's a 3-second cooldown, but it's gonna activate a 1-second global anyways, and even if it doesn't, it's so weak. It's just so shit. Creeping Venom. Your Venom applies a Creeping Venom, dealing some damage over 6 seconds. Creeping Venom's duration is refreshed when the target moves, and that's forever. Like, if they keep moving, it's gonna last forever. It's never gonna cancel. I tested it. It's just gonna keep refreshing itself over and over again until you stop moving for 6 seconds. Fan of Knives deal 25% more damage when it strikes 2 or more targets. The level 100 PvP talent, which is clearly the best talent ever. For reference, Fan of Knives does 6.7k damage. Brilliant. Casting Venom with at least 5 combo points on a target affected by your Growth, Rupture and Lethal Poison. That means 3 of them on a target afflicted by your Growth, Rupture and Lethal Poison. Deals some damage and reduces their movement speed by 90% for 2 seconds. I think that's for burst, like at the beginning, because the first thing you do is just put all your dots up. And that's it. I think we went through everything. Did I forget anything? Oh yeah, weapon, right? I forgot weapon. Yes, we don't have blind, we don't have gouge. But, oh well. Okay, now weapon. When you declare your vendetta, target a barrage of poison daggers will strike at the target every 1 second, dealing 24k damage. Every 1 second, vendetta lasts for 20. Yeah, so it's gonna do around 500k damage. It actually hits way more in PvP. It does double of this. Like when you vendetta, it's a million damage right there. And from what I've noticed, they cannot crit. Maybe I was really unlucky with it. I've never seen it crit. Rupture crit chance increased. Offensive finishing moves increase poison damage you deal to the target by 10% for 5 seconds. Fan of Knives causes any target hit with your deadly poison to take 30% of the remaining deadly poison damage instantly. Actually, I didn't know that thing existed. That's actually not bad. Deadly poison does 50k damage-ish. Yeah. So it's gonna take... what? You're not gonna have the full duration, obviously. Let's say it's gonna take 10 damage. 10k damage. Eh. King's Bane, we read that. That's the weapon ability. Which looks much cooler here from here. For whatever reason. This is a placeholder. Mutilate energy cost reduced. Envenom damage increased. Activating Vendetta refills all of your energy. That's pretty good. When you shadow step, you gain evasion for 2 seconds. Reduce the cooldown on Vendetta. Reduces the energy cost of Crimson Vial. That's actually pretty good too. Rupture has the chance to inflict your target with the blood of the assassinated, dealing some bleed damage over 10 seconds. I've noticed that it's more. It says 60k over 10 seconds, but it feels like it's more than this. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Oh yeah, it feels more because I have Hemo and some other stuff. Rupture increase damage. Increase the damage of deadly wound. When you envenom a target, you have a chance to smash a giant vial of poison on the target's location, creating a pool of acidic death that deals 10% damage to enemies within it. This does insane damage. I think it's 10% of the initial envenom, but I'm not sure. Like if you hit 500k envenom, it's gonna be doing what? 50k ticks? It's pretty... This does a lot of damage. It has an internal cooldown though. You can't proc it every envenom. Yeah, you have a chance. It's a low chance. It doesn't say how much it is, but it's kind of low. Reduce the cooldown of sprint, and that's it. That's your assassin.